guys, we are rolling. Hi everyone, my name is Audrey Halcomb, and I put a post on Facebook earlier kind of getting some ideas on if people would be interested in watching some training videos. I hear people all the time whenever they ask, well, what kind of horses do you train? And I'm like, well, I train miniatures and ponies. Like, what can you do with those? So this video's kind of getting people in the direction of driving, how to get there, where to start. Now I will say that what works for me will not work for everyone. I know every trainer has their own technique and every horse is different, so it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. And I will say that I am a professional whenever it comes to miniatures. I actually started training for clients this year. So shout out to you all entrusting me with your horses. We've had a very successful year. I do train mostly horses for the show ring. As far as driving, all kinds of levels, whether that be Western, Country Pleasure, Roadster, you name it. But that doesn't mean this training is necessarily limited to show horses only. I've also trained and sold several horses that went on to be competitive CDE drivers, just to trail drive, just to have fun, local shows, whatever. So this will work for many different aspects. So keep that in mind. Safety is our #1 priority. Don't rush your horses. If you feel like, okay, maybe this is a little bit too advanced for me, or maybe I shouldn't, I don't feel comfortable doing this, don't do it. I strongly recommend that you all find people in your area, whether that be a trainer or other drivers, just to kind of help you out. It's always good to have someone else in case something goes wrong. Hopefully that never happens, but you have to also think about that part. So, things you're gonna need: closed toe shoes, tennis shoes, or boots would probably even be better. And also wanted to point out that this is a raw video. This is no editing. This is what it is. You're gonna see mess ups. You're gonna see everything. There's no editing any of this out. So if I stutter or mess it up, just know it's 100% real. So, closed-toed shoes, that's #1 really. Some people like to wear gloves. I'm not a huge fan of gloves, so just kind of doing what works for me. You're gonna need a lunge whip. This is a good tool to have. So along with that, you're gonna have a lunge line of some sort, just a regular snap, a harness, of course, with a back pad and tail crooper. So I really like this one from Star Lake Tack with Kathy Waxler. Super wide, super comfortable for the horses, just really simple to start out with. And an open face bridle with just a snaffle bit, just for the babies and the ones that are getting started. So very mild. I know some people prefer different bits and all types of bits, and that's fine and dandy. I'm kind of old school in the fact that I don't think a bit will make a horse. A bit is not going to teach your horse how to set its head or steer or anything, so something simple and mild. Another thing to keep in mind is that you want to get your horse's teeth checked by preferably a miniature specialized dentist. Just make sure everything's good. They're losing caps the way they should be losing them. Wolf teeth are gone and your teeth are floated, no sharp edges. So, things to remember. A little bit more about myself. I have been training miniature horses, since I was probably 11 or 12. Started out on my own. I come from a big horse background, so horses are not a stranger to me. I've rode gated horses, I've done hunt seat, I've done saddle seat. So, and you'll see me use a lot of those techniques downsized into the miniatures. I use a lot of dressage techniques whenever it comes to getting that beautiful headset and lift and motion naturally. And I will say, you will see some horses, I'm sure, in the future that move really big. They got some big, really pretty front ends. Just know that what you see is 100% raw and natural. These horses are not forced in any way. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, no training aids as far as motion. What you see is what you get. And I hope you guys can really look back on this video with Intruder and kind of see how the process really helps that and him come along by himself in that aspect. So just throwing that out there. So I do train miniatures currently. I am a college student as well, going for elementary school education, because my parents say I need a degree. So here I am. I do train horses for the most part right now though, so I think that's pretty much it. I will be talking as I'm working, so you all may want to turn your volume up so that you can hear me good. Gonna keep it short and sweet, and a tip to always remember going into any of these videos, you're hopefully always gonna learn something. That's with at any level or whatever discipline you do, never stop learning, because there's always something else that you could keep in the toolbox to use in a later date with a different horse. So keep that in mind. And this is completely clean slate, like I said before. 2-year-old American Shetland pony stallion, barely broke to lead. He does let me brush him and stuff in the cross ties, let me pick out his feet and all that good stuff. But as far as driving, he is green, 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 never even heard of this. So here we go, day 1, Road to Congress 2020. Here we go. He does, as you all can see, have a lead rope on with his leather halter, because he is almost impossible to catch, especially in here in a bigger area. In the stall, he just wears his halter. I take the lead rope off and he seems to be okay. So number 1 that you want to keep in mind, you need to have confidence. Don't just approach your horse aggressively, especially horses like this. If you were to go just manhandle this horse, he is going to be done and not listen, and you're not going to get very far. So confidence is key, but listen to your horse's body language at the same time. So just keep that in mind. Hi, Intruder. And so he's going to want to kind of turn away from me. I hope you guys can see. So I want to keep him facing me, because I want his attention on me and not anything else. So, pretty simple. And this is what he looks like. 2 blue eyes, 4 high stockings. Pretty boy. Alright, so like I said before, he does stand for me to brush him and stuff in the cross ties. He's still learning me pretty good. As you can tell, he really doesn't want me beside of him, and that's okay. So main thing is I really just want to get my hands on him just a little bit. And you'll watch throughout the video, I'm really not going to, force him to stand here with me. If he backs away, I may encourage him very lightly to step up and come towards me. As soon as he relaxes or gives me what I want, I'm going to release and let him stand here. Any new thing that I'm going to introduce, I want him to really feel like he's the one that's making the decision to stand here and to learn new things. I don't ever want to feel like, I'm trapping him or forcing him to stand here and accept it. So, alright, now I'm going to switch to the lunge line just to keep his attention as I introduce new things. I want to be able to interrupt his train of thought if it ever gets a little hectic. So I'm sure you'll get to see that. Alright, so we're going to start out by lunging both directions. So I'm just going to kind of push him away. A nice loose line. Making him use the whole round pin. Now this part is really important as far as body language. If you're not familiar with lunging versus it be on a line, outside in an open area, in a round pin, it really depends on your body language to keep this process going smooth. So if I step in front of him, he's going to stop or change directions. But if I go keep that in mind. Let's see. This gate blew open. Oh, that, whoop, good boy. So I just cut in front of him just a little bit. Little side note there, always make sure you completely close your round pin. So, here we go. We're going to continue going to the left. I always hold the direct wand in the hand of the direction I want him to go in. So it's my left hand and I'll hold the extra in my right. And so then I'm going to ask him to change directions. Intruder will. Switch wands. And he changes directions for me. And a little canter's okay. As long as he's paying attention, he can blow off some steam. Phew, excuse me. Good boy. And so again, intruder will. Changing directions. Good boy, he's pretty good at that. So right now I'm just really making him think about stuff, kind of wondering what I'm going to ask him to do next. Push on the right direction. Okay. So whoop, whoop, whoop. Good boy. Changing directions again. Whoop. Alright. So, we knocked a little bit of the rough edges off. I think he's feeling okay now, and he's licking and chewing, and so that's good. Now I'm just going to kind of ask him to walk towards me. Very lightly. Good boy. Good boy. And I may move side to side just to get his attention that I really do want him to follow me. Good boy. Keep coming. I may urge him forward. You're okay. Good boy. And that's all I really want is just a couple steps towards me. More of a respect thing. And the flies are so bad. Okay, so next step is going to be a little bit of the desensitizing stage. So I'm going to use my long whip here. Now I will say the whip has a purpose as a tool. This should not be something that your horse is super scared of. It can be a tool to push them forward. It can be a tool to push them over from side to side, to back them up. It should not be looked as a scary thing, just something else to be able to use. So I really like to use this for them to rub all over them without necessarily it being my hand. And he's had a little bit of this done several months ago whenever I first got him. So just really down their leg and stuff. Kind of turn him to the side so you guys can see it. Good boy. All right. Just gonna go over him like so. A nice loose lead rope. As you can tell, I'm not forcing him to stay in here. back legs and stuff, around his hips, all that. So he seems pretty cool with that, so that's good. Main thing is just getting him used to stuff touching him all over, because he's going to have to get used to that. So, oh boy, all the flies. Alright, so next, let's introduce the harness. Okay, so, like I said, very clean slate. Has no idea what all this is. And that's okay, so this is going to be the raw footage of what it takes to introduce one. He's smelling it and all that. Always touch it on him. And so, like I said, never really feeling force. Now, if he does go flying backwards or something, I will take a hold of him just to suggest for him to stand still, that I'm not trying to hurt him. So, patience is key. You always have to act like you've got all the time in the world. So if you act rushed, like you got to put it on him, chances are you're not going to. Might ask him to step up. Step up. Alright, so slowly making my way. Whoa, buddy. You're okay. So I'm suggesting for him to stand still. You can see I've got some weight on the lead rope, but as soon as he relaxes, I do too. So keep an eye on that. So I may just get beside of him here just by myself, touching him a little bit. Because he will let me beside of him, but he's really super insecure still. So I'm asking him to step up so you guys can see. Step up. Step up. Step up. Okay. So, whoa. 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 You're all right. He's still really not about me getting beside of him. So I'm not getting in a rush, and I know you guys can't really see right now, but he has calmed down and let me get beside of him. He's still a big ball of nerves, so I'm going to walk him up just a little bit. Okay. I think you guys can see now. So, shorten up on my lead rope, start at the head. Put a hand on it here at his neck. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm asking him to stand. Whoop. Good. So he is letting me beside of him. He's still a little unsure. And as you can see, my lead rope relaxes. Good. Same thing, but with, instead of my hand, with the harness. It's alright. Main thing is I don't really want him to feel like it's forced. So, same thing before. As you can see, I'm not going to tighten up on my lead rope unless he tightens up on me. So, over the back. Oh boy. So, it's on. Kind of. Good boy. Now just stand here for a minute before I ever really start to tighten stuff up. So, like, he's still relaxed. I'm still relaxed. It's all good. Really going to make sure I've got this nice and straight. Going to add the girth part. Very, very, very loose. like that. So, success, and you can see he's licking and chewing, licking and chewing. So, it is on. Tail creeper is not. And that's okay. So I'm going to try to add it again. Going to add the tail creeper. And the flies are kind of bothering him. Fly sprayed him, but okay. So same thing, putting a hand on him. My lead rope stays relaxed as long as he's relaxed. Whoop, whoop, oh boy. So, I'm going to adjust this. Okay, so now I'm just going to lay it kind of across his back here. Oh, you're okay. You're okay. He's kind of like, what the heck? Ask him to come up. Come up. Good boy. Alright, so we're going to try it again. Remember, it just takes time, patience. You're okay. Hey, hey, hey. Hey. So if he really is not wanting to listen to me, not really wanting to stand still, then I'm going to make him move a little bit. If he's not going to stand still for me to do it, then I'm going to say, okay, then I'll just release and let him back up, but I'm going to follow him. Or we might do a couple laps and ask him again. But as you can see, as soon as I started backing up with him, he came up forward and started licking and chewing again. So I'm going to try again. Remember, approach with confidence, but not that you're in a hurry, because we're not. So he's not really wanting to stand still. So I'm just kind of letting him work his way around. But I'm still making him be close to me, even though he really doesn't want to. Come on. Go for it. Oh. Whoop. 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 So if he doesn't want to stand, I may make him move his feet, and then he follows me back. So he's smart. He's pretty smart. Well, so I'm going to suggest, hey, for him to stand. If not, then he needs to realize I'm going to go wherever he's going to go. Come forward. So, this may take a while, but that's okay. Okay, so if they're still not about it, then let's go to work just a little bit. It's not going to hurt them to not have a tail creeper on. And I usually just let them trot with the harness on, because that means it's time to go to work. The play stuff kind of quits. They're going to buck a little bit. And as soon as he does, he stops. Like, oh, I feel like I'm not supposed to do that. So just a nice trot. If he does start, a little bunny hop or something, just play it off. They're young, and this is all new, so that's okay. But now if they really get down and start bucking and kicking out, then I may correct them with the lead line and just redirect their attention. Okay. Well, good boy. And he is pretty nervous, and that's okay. Ask him to come up to me. Whoa. Whoa. So I know he's going to let me beside of him, so I may even put his butt up to the round pin just to kind of give him a sense of security. Really don't want him to feel trapped. I'm not holding him tight or anything. that's all it took. And it is on super loose. We're not tightening anything quite yet. So, success that the harness is on now. And you can kind of see everything is loose. The Intruder, come on. Well, he is better whenever he's tied or cross-tied. He does let me all beside of him, and so he just got to learn to do it on his own thinking. So now we're going to work a little bit just with the harness on. Same thing as we were doing without the harness, and lunge both ways. You know, if I see he's going to change his mindset, get a little bit headstrong, maybe want to start bucking or something, I may you know, just with my voice. So he's getting a little fast where he kind of wanted to canter a little bit. Doesn't take much, just a little bump. Want to keep him going. And he seems to be doing pretty good, so I'm going to tighten it up just a little bit. Boy. So, whoa, So if he decides to take a couple steps back, I'm going to make him take a couple steps forward because it's my idea that he needs to stop. So if he stops and then goes backwards, I'm going to ask him to come forward, then stop again until he relaxes. So, whoa. Or, you know, I may just not hold him. Make him move just a little bit. Okay. Now, whoa. Whoa. Looking and chewing. So he's kind of like, okay, I'm going to listen. What do you want? Even though he is just a little bit confused, and that's okay. But he kind of has to understand that whenever he moves and I don't ask him to, he's going to move more than he originally expected to. So there he goes. He's going to stand now. I know you guys probably can't see. Tighten this up. Tail crooper up. A couple notches. Just snug enough to keep the harness in place. Nothing too crazy. Okay. Make sure it's straight on his back. And I'm going to tighten the girth up here just a tad. Okay. So now we have the finished product of the harness. Time to go to work. He's kind of looking outside just a little bit, kind of daydreaming. That's okay, as long as he's doing what I ask, that's okay. But if I need to redirect his attention, I may bump his nose in a little bit and then push him on. Change directions again, just slightly in front of him. Switch hands and push him on. So he's kind of wanting to canter. Okay. And good boy, back to a trotty go. Easy. Speedy Gonzalez. So, whoa. Ask him to whoa. Good boy, come to me. Follow me. Come on. Good boy. Intruder. Listen to me now. Come on. Bridle got a little bit dusty. Come on. So, now I'm going to add the bridle. We're not going to worry about any bit pressure or anything today. Just mainly, our main goal today is for him to carry tack, and which he's doing pretty successfully. To work both ways, just to carry a bit in his mouth and kind of learn what it's all about. So being introduced to new things, but still listening to me. So, introducing the bridle. Step up. Good boy. I'm going to start beside of him, just like you would with any horse, broke or not. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So, he doesn't want me beside of him, which he's just gonna have to learn to get over. I'm not forcing him, but he is just gonna have to learn to be okay with me being beside of him. Okay? So, main thing is what I was doing there is just staying beside of him and letting him choose the direction he wanted to go. And then eventually he's gonna stop like he is now and going, okay, now what do you want? So he may do it again, and if he starts flying backwards, you know why, because I'm just sticking beside of him. So here we go. I'm gonna start with just touching his mouth here, okay? And I'll put the bit in, kind of feed it to him like a cookie. I don't even think he's ever had any cookies, but. So, just kind of up like this. Stick my thumb in his mouth, good boy. And then just kind of pull it over his head there. That's all it is. And he did take a couple steps back, but that's okay. So, here we go. Now, we do want to make sure it's all adjusted right. We do want a couple wrinkles on each side of his mouth, just to keep his tongue from getting over the bit. His tail's caught here. There we go. So, that's all it is. He's not even really playing or chewing with it, so that's good. And that's to be expected the first couple days, so overlook that. Excuse me. So, here we go. Same thing. No bit pressure, it's just through his halter still. He's kind of got one turn towards me every now and then. So he is listening. He kind of wants to canter a little bit. I may step in front of him, slow him down, push him on. So I'm getting ready to change directions. I'm going to try to do it to where you guys can see. Whoop. That's all it takes. And back that way. Oh boy. That is a lot easier to teach when you have a round pin rather than just a lead. And he's not chewing or chomping at the bit at all, which is actually great. So he's just getting used to carrying it. That's the whole purpose of today, is just getting tack on him, getting him listening to me, and getting him in a routine. So I'm gonna see if he'll follow me. Come on. Good boy. All right. Good boy. Good boy. So I'm just gonna kind of close out by walking him around just a little bit and him walking beside of me without me. Good boy. All right. So he's better. We did get one full lap of me walking beside of him, so I think we're gonna call it a day on that. He's licking and chewing, so. As I said before, this is raw footage. This is what it is. No horses were hurt in the making of this video. So, on the road to getting cart broke, as you all can see, I mean, this is the Mustang Makeover Challenge miniature size, or 44 inches size. He's not really miniature, so. It's gonna take some time, but that's okay. I'm willing to put in the work. These are the types of horses that I love. I actually won a national championship and reserve stakes championship at nationals with a horse that was just, if not more wild than he was. He was actually a 3-year-old before he was ever halter broke. So he's a 4-year-old this year, and he won at nationals, and he went back in out of like 14 horses, I think, back in the stakes of the grand driving class, Country Pleasure 36 to 38, and got reserve. So there is hope. This is just as rough as it gets. I hope you guys will be able to look back on this video and be like, wow, you know, he's really come a long way. So that's where I'm coming. That's where I'm coming from. And if y'all have any more questions or anything, drop it in the comments below. I'm gonna hopefully add this to YouTube. So I will share this on Facebook. Go ahead and add me as a friend if you want to. I'll drop the link below too. And I'm gonna try to maybe even do weekly check-ins with Intruder and let you guys know what I'm doing and how the progress is going. So remember, day 1, here it is. Thank you guys.